bum 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 bum. Santa baby, won't you put a tabletop role-playing game under my tree for me? I've been an awfully good grump, Santa baby. Don't leave me hanging this year. What's up, my nerdsicles? Merry Christmas week. Happy holidays. Happy Hanukkah. Happy, well, not so happy, but it is also the anniversary of Pearl Harbor. Moment of silence. How are you today, all the who's and whovilles? It's about 9:30 here at Site B on the 7th day of December in this, the year of our Lord Steve the Cat, 2023. And in the story that will not die, we have an answer to the question I asked yesterday. So this is continuing to follow up on the inevitable destruction of Goodman Games, or at least the inevitable evolution of Goodman Games, which started last week with the stupid poster and continues to go on as more and more people are finding things to be angry about Goodman Games, including digging up posts from 3, 4, 5 years ago. And people are like, well, I need to now just find, I'm desperate to find any reason to be angry at Goodman Games. So here's something they said like 10 years ago. It does feel a little, yeah, but also the information's there. The damage has been done. They have said what they've said, and apparently this has been going on for a while with Goodman Games. Diehard DCC fans have been pointing this out apparently for a while now. There's stories dating all the way back to when DCC first came out about stuff that Goodman said and about what he really thought about the OGL and the fan base. So today we're talking about that post that somebody found, where they found the post from the 8th edition and the post from the 10th edition and the changing of the wording. The 8th edition very much said Gygax, Arnson, Holmes, these guys, Jaquaeus, are instrumental in the creation evolution of the game, and you have to at least acknowledge them. Doesn't matter what you think about them or whatever, but you just have to acknowledge that these guys existed and they are the history of the game. And then in the 10th one that came out last year, early this year, they changed it. They removed that, but then they added a section where they're honoring all the artists like Earl Otis and Jeff D and stuff. So they removed the names, Gygax and company. They've added the names of some certain artists, but it's like, well, yeah, you're still using their art in your book, so you kind of gotta acknowledge them that you're using their art, but why remove Gygax? So I said, well, let me see the whole thing. Did they really remove Gygax, or did they just move it? Because I've got the 4th edition one, and you can find like his name in like 3 different places without even trying. So did they remove it? Because all those guys who posted the thing showed was a very specific cherry-picked line of text. Well, thanks to Chris Cosgrove, and thanks to Jeff Gamebox, and thanks to Aaron Cornelius for sending me these links. This is the link Jeff's Gamebox sent me of the complete write-up of the thing for the 10th edition. And yes, I wish you were getting paid to watch my live streams. I wish I was getting paid to make these live streams. Hi, RPG Grandma. I am still looking for that General Grievous figure for you. All right. Blah, 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 blah. So the section that said, blah, blah, blah. Thank you, this guy. Thank you, this guy. Thank you, this guy. That's gone. Instead, it says, thank you to the artist. It talks about what dice we use. Here's the thing where it says, hey, we respect these guys, Otis, Easley, Rosloff, Holloway, Caldwell, Templar, D. I think that's Jeff D. Nicholson, Crompton, and Miller. Those are artists. Though, yeah, those guys have written shit too. But mostly they're saying, thanks for the art. We're acknowledging it because you still made it. They're talking about inclusion. Stuff like that. They mentioned Appendix N, that you refer to Appendix N with reverence and delight, acknowledging it, defining plate, and creating this hobby. That you will honor the hobby, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, same thing. Instead of very specifically cherry picking, okay, it's just goofing off at work when I should be productive. Hey, as long as you're getting paid, it's not goofing off at work. I want to get paid. So they are trying to. So every comment that I've received is Goodman is trying to pander to the new audience, the 5e audience. And by doing that, he's removing Gygax and the others' names. Gygax's name is still in the 10th edition. It's just not in any major, like, you know, the person, Jeff had to go look for it. Chris Costco found it in the, but it's not on the front page. It's not in the introduction. It's not in the dedication. It's definitely, oh yeah, blah, 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 blah. Gygax, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. We're going to mention him, but we don't want anybody to know we're associating with him because there's some bad juju associated with the Gygax. All right. So instead, they're pandering to the new audience because that's where they think the money is. And the last year or so, this is from Tanker over at Tanker's Tavern. The main source of income for Goodman has been the original Adventures Revisited. They're seeing that the newer player base wants to play through the older adventures like Keep in the Borderland, Isle of Dread, Temple of the Elemental Evil, but they want to see them done up in 5e so they don't have to learn an old rule set. And for people like me and RPG Grandma, because she mentioned this, I want to see what it looks like under the old rule set. I want to see what it looks like under the new rule set, and does it play the same way? Because if you go all the way back to Yawning Portal, where they did 5e versions of, Tomb of Horrors and White Plume Mountain, and you could see how drastically different Tomb of Horrors 5e was from Tomb of Horrors OG. So the old school Adventures Revisited stuff, like Keep in the Borderland, presents it in the original format and then in 5e-ified. And Goodman was saying, this is the crowd. This is the people that are buying my game. So this is the crowd I want to focus on, is the people who want to play these new old adventures, but through new sets. But I also want to keep pushing DCC. So I've got to advertise DCC to the new audience, even if it means I directly or indirectly insult my older audience. And unfortunately, it feels like he's chosen to kind of join the ranks of people who are just shitting on the old folks. Less like this lady, RPG Grandma. I guess that makes me RPG Grumpy or whatever, and DM Kurt, us old farts who have been playing forever. And Goodman's like, yeah, fuck you guys. I'm all for the 5e fans. Except, as Aaron the Relentless has informed us, they've lost the ability to mine the TSR stuff. Well, I mean, if you're following the Justin Lanasa TSR case, go to Tabletop Tap Room with my friend Tom. If you haven't heard the latest news on the Justin Lanasa TSR case, there is no TSR case, right? There is no TSR right now. So there's no TSR library available for them to mine. So all that's left for them to mine is whatever older product Wizards of the Coast allows them to mine. And apparently they've lost that contract with Wizards of the Coast. So they're going to have to start mining other older product that isn't Wizards of the Coast. So what are we going to see? Old Adventures Revisited Ardoin Grimoire? Old Adventures Revisited Judges Guild? And is the fan base there? I mean, I don't think people are really buying the Jack Vance Dying Earth book they did, and I don't think people are really buying the Lankamar books they did, and can't remember the last time I saw anybody bring up DCC in a conversation that wasn't me or Aaron the Relentless. So is the audience there for him to suddenly dump the old school and focus on the pandering to the new school? Doesn't feel like it. So who knows? When I started working in retail years ago, when dinosaurs still rocked the earth and we had to use abacuses to do inventory, my very first retail manager told me a piece of advice that I have never forgotten, and I've brought this up before, to this day. And he said to me, treat every customer that walks through the door as your paycheck and give them every single one of them, the best customer service you can give. And his logic was, you are not selling anything in this store I cannot get anywhere else. And that was true when I first started working retail in the 80s. And that's doubly, triply true now. Goodman Games, you're not selling anything I can't get anywhere else. What you're selling is the reputation of the Goodman Games. And if you ruin that reputation with your customers, they're going to go someplace else. You treat everybody that logs on to DCC as your paycheck. And if you choose to alienate a target audience, you're alienating money. And that target audience, me, are going to take our money elsewhere because you don't make anything I can't get anywhere else. Now, deciding to focus your advertising energy on the current existing audience, brilliant. I mean, that's what you have to do. You have to remain afloat in the very niche world that is tabletop role-playing game. So, yeah, sure. Yeah, I have to accept that I am no longer the target audience. The people in my end of the pool. Oh, well, we can talk about Arduin. I met him once a long time ago. Hargrave, great guy. You can talk about that some other time. You know, my end of the pool is getting shallower. More and more of us are getting older. We have less time to devote to RPG. We're shuffling off to the lands beyond the seas. One by one, we know we are off. You know, the old school is dying off. So the guys who were playing in the 80s and 90s are becoming the new old school, and and it's just the demographic is changing. We have to accept that. Okay, fine. So you gear towards the current audience, but you don't alienate the older audience. As long as there is still one of us decrepit old gamers who've been doing this since the 70s coming up to that window at Target in our walkers going, you have the latest version of that D&D thing that I played when I was a child? That's money in your pocket. Companies that understand focus on the new, but don't alienate the old, are the ones that are going to survive the recession. My job is to make money and piss off the least amount of people that I can. Gear my advertising towards the newer audience, but never abandon the older audience. Because again, as long as there's still one of them out there spending money, that's still $100 I didn't have a minute ago. So on the surface, Mr. Goodman, nothing wrong with your choice. It's good business. But apparently you decided to borrow a part of the Wizards of the Coast brain in doing it the completely back-assward, self-destructive way to get cheap heat. Considering everything that's happened this year alone, there is absolutely no way you did not know you were going to get negative reactions from your poster. And there's no way you did not know you're going to get negative reaction from changing this, considering you've already received a lot of negative action in the previous edition by switching pronouns and some of the other stuff. So you had to know. There's no way you did not know. Just like there's no way Wizards of the Coast doesn't know how people are going to react when they do stupid shit. By now they know, they just choose for whatever not to learn from their mistakes. That's a separate topic. There's no way Goodman did not know how people were going to react. He chose to put that poster out the way he did, and he chose to change this to get cheap heat. This is a cheap pop. This is, fuck the old school. I'm jumping in the new school. If he didn't think he was going to get a negative reaction, he's an idiot, because he's smart enough to have seen the way this year has gone alone to know what was going to happen. And if not, then you need to hire someone whose job it is to tell you, dude, if you say that, this is what's going to happen. Are you sure you want to say that? And I'll do that job for $10 a day. So the choice is fine. The choice makes sense. The way he went about the choice was totally dumb. And here we have the proof that he is doing what we were all accusing him of doing. Thank you again to Chris Koskov and Jeff Gamebox and Aaron Cornelius for sending me these links to the posting. You can find them yourself. They're on Twitter. They're on Facebook, whatever. This is to use again my pro wrestling equivalent. This is the Heat, the bad guy, saying when he's in Seattle, bad mouthing the Seattle Seahawks. It's cheap heat. Exactly. Flexible edition, folks. That's what I'm going to call myself now. Thank you, RPG Grandma. I'm copying that. Just what I just said. Addressing the fact that there is a new audience and you need to focus your advertising, your energy on your new audience. Perfectly fine. Everybody does that. That's advertising 101. Never alienate your existing audience, an older audience. That's advertising 102. And things not to do, advertising 103, is what this guy has done. He has chosen to insult his older audience in an attempt to get the I hate the older audience on his side, as well as pander to the new audience. And there's the proof right there. And I'm sure once he gets all new art, he won't, give the little mention to Otis and everybody that he did, because he's trying to attract the current audience, whatever that current audience is. And he's doing it the wrong way. It's not that what he's doing is dumb, because everybody does that. It's that he's chosen to borrow a part of the Wizards of the Coast handbook and piss off as many people as he possibly could in the hopes that those few people will stay loyal to him, completely ignoring the fact that the main source of his income has been the old folks like myself, or the people who are flexible editioners who want to get those old adventures and see them both converted. And if you've run out of older adventures to mine, what are you going to start mining? Judges Guild stuff? I don't know. Here's the first edition and 5th edition version of City State of the Emperor, City State of the Invisible Overlord. Here's the first edition, 5th edition of Castle Thrace. Did you get Janelle to work on it? Yeah, we did. So, yep, there it is. Thank you again, Chris Kroscove. Thank you again, Jeff Gamesbox. Thank you again, Aaron Cornelius, for sending me this link. Thank you, RPG Grandma, for being smarter than me and giving me names like this. This was just dumb. This was just could have been handled so much better. All Goodman Games has done is piss off a huge chunk of the old fuck audience. And the new fuck audience isn't going to really respect him because he showed weakness, because he took a knee on the poster, and he took a knee with this. And if you think the new school audience, the pander audience, is going to respect you and go, oh yeah, we totally love you. No, and they're going to be like, oh, he's one of us, but he took a knee. Can't win for losing, so you do these things, and there's going into these things how people are going to react, and you just make the choice that's going to do the least damage as possible. Just like me, every time I come online and open my mouth, I know I'm risking negative press. So I try and say things that will get me in the least trouble as possible because I know it's a no-win situation. It's a zero-sum game that I can't win. It's just the best way to lose. And he chose not the best way to lose. And that's sad because I love the product that he makes. And, now I'm going to be like, I don't really want to give him money I don't have. I'd rather spend it on something else. But the question was asked and we answered it. So yes, the whole entire thing does read the way people thought it was going to read. And the whole entire thing from Dungeon Con from 3 years ago reads the way people thought it was going to read. And yes, it does seem that Goodman Games has jumped hook, line, and sinker into the deep end of the Panderverse, losing any of the respect of his target audience, me, and losing any of the respect of his other target audience, them, by choosing to do the way he did it, by following in the blueprint that Wizards of the Coast has made. And I just got to, again, say in closing, do not look at Wizards of the Coast as an example of the best way to handle product and handle your fan base. If anything, it is a masterclass in everything to do wrong. Good luck in 2024, Mr. Goodman. You're going to need it. That's it for today. I'm the OGGM. If you appreciate this nonsense, let me know. If you don't appreciate this nonsense, let me know. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Help me hit 2,000 subs by the end of the year. You can still do it. It's only a couple days away. And I'll talk to you later.